Shalom, shalom. Start this lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles who push out 100% truth in truth and sincerity, and shalom to the hope for elect scattered across the four winds. The one this lesson is edifying, and I had a bunch of dreams and visions, and I got to put them on wax, man. The Lord's telling me, through the Spirit, I got to put these on wax. So therefore, I'm gonna put this on wax. This one of the dreams that I had. I'm gonna lay to y'all brothers right now. So it was like I was in an area and I was under a tree, and I had a pencil. I believe it was a pencil. Might have been a pen. But a pencil or pen, and I had a notebook, and I was under the tree, and I was sitting there, and as I was under the tree, it was like, a great, number of people, together. Like, there was people on the left side, that wanted to fight. And then there was people on the right side, they wanted to fight, And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and mind you, it's like I'm cloaked. They don't see me, they don't see the tree, they don't see where I'm at, I'm just there watching. These people are running towards each other. They're running towards each other to fight and everything. And as they're running towards each other and fight, everybody stopped and froze, And for that moment that they froze, they all turned their head and looked to the right, And I'm there. I'm looking at everybody, how everybody looking at the right. I try to look to the right, but it's like, how, you try to look somewhere, but it's like you're blocked. Or like, say you're playing a video game and you're trying to get somewhere and it's like an invisible barrier. It was sort of like that. I kept trying to turn my head to the right, but I couldn't see. I couldn't see what they were looking at, and everybody stopped what they was doing, and they all went in unison to fight whatever came, whoever came, through the Spirit. I know it was Yahushai and the angels, but they all they put their differences to the side, in the dream. And they all went to go fight the main target, And then after that, the Lord took me from there and he put me somewhere else. And it was like I had a bird's eye view. It's like I'm in the sky. Literally, I'm in the sky and I'm looking down. And I'm over, Washington, D.C. By the way that, the aesthetics were and how everything looked, I could tell I was in Washington, D.C. And it was trooped up. It was troops everywhere. Like, you couldn't go nowhere. Mind you, I'm in the sky, and it's like how you play what game can I say? Say you playing Super Mario, and before you look at the course, how it shows you the whole course, and like you could go from the start of the course to the end of the course, and the camera, like the panel, goes like deep into it. It was like that. It had me going through like a bird. I guess you could say like a bird. I'm going through. And I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the White House boarded up, troops everywhere, Those checkpoints were everywhere. When I say those checkpoints were everywhere, man. And, those silver railings, the ones that, how can I explain it? Those silver railings that, you can't pass, those were everywhere. You have stuffed out like bricks, like barricades everywhere. And it was like, the whole place. Washington was just looking like, the best way I could describe it is if you ever played what can I say? It's a game. It's called Infamous 2. And then in that game there was checkpoints, There was checkpoints that you couldn't cross, soldiers were guarding those checkpoints. It was sort of like that, Lord willing, towards the end of the video, I could put a picture, or in the beginning of the video, probably towards the end of the video, I'll put a picture so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and I seen these things, and boom, I woke up. The Lord woke me up, and when I had that dream, mind you, when I had it at the time, I wasn't, I was just coming into the faith, I didn't, dig deep into the scriptures, I didn't know the scriptures like that, and it was just so spiritual how when I told older bros, I was like, whoa, feel me, what this is? Your dream is this, and I'm like, my mind was blown, because like, I never read that scripture, but I had to dream about it, And, right now I'm going to pull out a couple scriptures real quick, just so what I seen, you know. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out to sea. So in a dream, I was at the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment, I won't bring out that Joel 3 and 2, but, I was over there. And it's like, I'm literally, I couldn't even number how many people were there. Like, it was a vast majority of people over there, man, And those people, they put their differences to the side, they look scared. They didn't want to fight, but it's like, they went and they did it, And then let me drop down some. I'm gonna drop down to verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. They were scared. Everybody, they froze, but it's just like they just said, fuck it, and they went to fight. And it was like everybody was charging that way, and I see them charging that way, but I'm not able to turn my head to see exactly, who they're fighting. But, through the spirit, of the scriptures also, y'all shining angels, Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, And then, that's what happened. I wasn't able to see it, but, that's what it was leading up to through the spirit. That's what I believe that it was leading up to, Based off the scriptures, that's what it was leading up to, Then the Lord grabbed me from there, He took me and he brought me to Babylon. That's how I know, where I was at. It was not Babylon. Straight up, that was not Babylon. Just thinking about the area, how everything looked and everything, that was not Babylon. I was somewhere else. Valley of Jehoshaphat. That's I was over there, Through the spirit, I believe I was over there, because the area, just looking at everything, it was not Babylon. That was not Babylon, And I'm gonna bring this out, This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. It's lucky for the background noise. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which we know as Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. And we know that word plead in there goes to judge. He's going to judge the nations. So I'm going to change the word, and will judge with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So starting off with our top enemy, Esau, Edom, and these other nations also, they had a hand in it, what nation didn't have us in captivity, man? And the Lord, there's a judgment for that. The Lord, y'all gonna be at the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat. The Lord gonna judge y'all for what y'all did, man. Y'all scattered us, y'all forwarded the affliction, y'all lifted up the horn, it's a judgment for that, man. It's a judgment for that, And then, the second part of the dream, as I was saying, the Lord took me from the Valley of Jehoshaphat and he put me in Babylon, and I was in Washington, D.C. And, the stuff that I was seeing troops everywhere, everything was boarded up, If you wanted to go left, you wouldn't be able to go left. If you wanted to go right, you wouldn't be able to go right. There was so much checkpoints and everything. It's like, you got to get clearance to go somewhere. That's the type of the type of vibe that they were on over there. You got to get clearance to be able to go somewhere, to be able to move, And this is the book of, 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able, Washington, D.C. was closed off. Like, it was locked down, like martial law. Like, there's no way you'll be able to, to get to your left, get to your right, The whole place was shut down, basically, And that was a dream, And, Kala Yabashim Yashai, the Lord showed me that, And right now the Spirit's on me, I had a bunch of dreams. The Spirit is on me right now. to put those dreams on wax, man. And that's what I'm doing, you know. Lord willing, you know, brothers, you know, Akim was edified, you know. And with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to all those apostles who push out 100% truth in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. Lord willing, this was edifying, you know. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, you know. Call me Asherallah, or Ball with Ball. Shalom.